In this video, I'll be walking you through how to run a count using radius selections. If you haven't already done so, I recommend you watch our first how-to video on just running a basic count, because I will be running through some of the features that were already covered in that video pretty quickly. So let's get started. Click Counts and Mailing List from the home page. And from the list of database options, I'm just going to use the consumer list. So I'll click Start Count. And from the geography screen, this is where I'm going to be adding our radius selections. And we do that simply by clicking the radius button. And the first thing we want to do is to pinpoint the location that's going to be the center of our radius. So we'll just enter in an address to search for. Click Find. And now it shows us on the map exactly where that location is, and it was successfully found. We can zoom out, zoom in, and use all the familiar things that you're probably used to in online maps. And now I'm going to select the number of miles that I want to go out. We'll do a 3-mile radius. And it's drawing my ring for me and showing me exactly where that 3-mile ring is going to take me. There's a few other options down here, how you want to build the geography and whether or not you really just want to pull a certain number of records that's closest to your location, if you only want, say, the closest 1 or 2,000 records. And then a key code, which gives you a way to identify and separate out records for each radius selection. And we'll just call this one location number 1. And I'll just click Apply. And now that brings us back to the geography screen and shows us that that radius selection has now been added to our count. And if we click Update Count, you can see we've got a little over 24,000 households in that 3-mile radius. So now let's go ahead and add another one. So we'll click Radius again. And this time we'll do something a little different. Instead of searching for an address, we'll actually search for an intersection or cross street. Looks like there we are, found our intersection. Let me zoom out a little bit and notice that as sort of a point of reference, it's showing you the radius ring that we just previously did in a green color. It's kind of nice to see if you are doing multiple locations where those locations lie and how close they may be to one another. So I'm going to go ahead and select another 3-mile ring. It'll draw my ring for me. Enter in a key code. Now you can see there's going to be some overlap here, and we'll talk about that if I click Apply. Okay, now that brings me back to my geography screen and is showing me now that I have 2 radius selections on this count. Also note that now that I do have more than one radius, I'm getting an extra option down here. It says if there is overlap in my geography, what should I do with it? And by default, it's always going to say, well, always assign a household to the location that it's closest to, which is in most cases what you're going to want. The only other option you have is that you actually want to keep all the overlapping records, and what you're going to get is duplication if you choose that option. So we're going to update the count. Now we've got almost 40,000 households. So now I'm happy with the radius selections I've got here, so I'm going to go ahead and click Continue. Move on to the demographic section. We'll click Add Selection, and we'll just put a simple one on here. Choose household income 75,000 and greater. Click Apply. Update count again. So now we're down to a little over 17,000. So we'll click continue again. This takes us to our list options. And we'll change the name here. Just call it Radius Demo. Click Apply. And we'll also change our download option to change the output file format to Excel. Click Apply there. Now I could go ahead and add this count to the cart and check out and go ahead and get my data. But I want to show you one other tool that's a pretty powerful feature, and that's the count report. If we click on this count report button, what this allows us to do is take this overall count and break it down using a number of different elements and combinations. So for example, if I choose this distance option, and for the first breakdown I'm just going to say none, as well as for the second one, just to get a simple report here to show you. If we click run count, or run report, excuse me. Now what this is showing me is each of the radius rings that I've created, and then the counts within those rings broken down by distance. So for the first location, within the first mile there were 198 households. Within the second mile there's 3,663 households between 1 and 2 miles, and so on and so forth. So this can really be a powerful tool to slice and dice these counts to see exactly what you've got and what you're going to end up with. I could say none here and break this down by income. So now you get an idea of the distribution based on the different income ranges that I chose. So we'll go ahead and jump back. Now we're ready to go ahead and add this to the cart. Accept the terms. So now it's showing me the shopping cart. Here's the list with my 17 plus thousand households. Check out. And we'll place our order. So now the order's been placed, and we're just waiting for the system to finish building our list for us. And there it is. Click on our link to download our file. And there's our Excel file with the names and addresses and our layout file. That's all there is to it. So that shows you how to run counts and download lists by using one or more radius selections. So be sure to stop by AmericanClearinghouse.com and give it a try for yourself. Thank you.